In today's episode of Art of Making, a journey into the world of dolls. What is the importance of stones in the craft of Fakhriya Ibragimova? Ceramics is the creativity for those who can be patient and who are passionate about their craft. Recently, interior handmade dolls turned into a real trend. This type of art has been known for more than 1 century. With their extraordinary realism, they became extremely popular. Having placed such dolls in your home, in one of the most visible places, you can be sure that they will not leave anyone indifferent. For professional doll makers, the production of such toys is not only a hobby, but also a business that brings both good income and real pleasure from the realization of their talent. Looking at these amazing things at an exhibition, in a gallery, in a store, or a restaurant, feeling their energy, it's impossible to resist the desire to create something similar. In order to make exclusive dolls, there's no need to have an art education. Love for painstaking hard work is enough.
Однажды нечаянно я увидела у своей подруги, как она...
Once I saw my friend drawing on the silk. I asked her to teach me, and she did. I've been doing batik for about a year. We were in the exhibition on our bot. I met a girl who creates dolls, and we became friends with her, so she showed me how to create one. Of course, I was fascinated with this work, and the batik went on hold. I began to study. I took one course, began to create dolls, and then I took another course. This creativity became the center of my life, and I study all the time. It captured me. This is my world of fairy tales, the world of peace, because when I start making a doll, I forget about everything. Some family issues, worries, work, everything goes aside.
Уходит все в сторону.
Such a familiar toy in our time, like a doll, has different meanings and origins. Dolls were first mentioned about 40,000 years ago. They were protectors from the evil eye, amulets, symbols of fertility and focus. Over time, the doll turned into a fashionable thing, an expensive gift and interior decoration. The silent creatures made of rock, clay, wood, and porcelain are carrying the warmth of humans' hands, which created them and attract both children and adults.
В музее костюмов был конкурс, назывался балет.
There was a competition called ballet at the Kostyев Museum. I chose the image of Baba Yaga. For some reason, I wanted to create something interesting. I took first place precisely for Baba Yaga, the ballerina.
Для меня было это неожиданно, потому что я только начинала...
This was unexpected for me because I was new to doll making and did not think that I would receive a prize. It was pleasant and unexpected.
Неожиданно.
Interior doll is not a toy in the traditional sense of the word. This is not an ordinary figurine, vase, or souvenir, but an exclusive product made by hand and conveys a certain mood. It serves as a decorative element and original interior decoration.
Когда задумываешь что-то слепить, очень много ищешь.
When you think about modeling something, you look for a lot of information on the internet. Thanks to this, we find everything we need. It takes me more than 1 month to find an image, sometimes up to 3 months.
Я ищу очень много фотографий.
I look for a lot of photos. One image is needed in different angles. You look, you pick. The most important thing is that you should like it, because if you don't like it, the doll won't turn out well. And if you are in a bad mood, it's better not to start any work.
С чего мы начинаем? Это берем фольгу.
What do we start with? We take the tin foil, the thinnest one, we make a blank for the head out of it. We try to make everything carefully and as smooth as possible. The main thing is to twist the foil. Then we apply a thin layer of plastic, polymer clay. Each craftsman chooses the plastic that is convenient for him. I like this polymer clay.
Налепливаешь первый слой цернита пластика.
You apply the first layer of polymer clay and set the eyes. This is a complex process. You need to correctly calculate the distance between the eyes and set them evenly. Then this figure is baked in an ordinary domestic oven.
А когда все это остывает,
When it cools down, you begin to apply the second layer and look at the photos. You try to transfer the image to plastic as close to the one on the photo. The facial features of the doll are very similar to human ones. Another feature of the author's doll is that each detail, facial expressions, poses, clothes, is thought out with special care. If this is a historical character, then clothes are created in accordance with the era to which it belongs. After the main features of the face are defined, a painstaking process of checking symmetry, forming emotions, and detailing begins. Then there is the gluing of eyelashes, the creation of a hairstyle, and then the painting of the face.
в данный момент я сделала образ Джека Воробея.
Now I have made the image of the Captain Jack Sparrow. Of course, this is not a portrait, but just an image. There is still a lot of work to do, but half has already been completed. A blank has been created, eyes have been set, plastic has been applied, some details are left, some parts need to be aligned and corrected.
А дальше уже идет каркас. Но чтобы сделать каркас, нужно правильно рассчитать пропорции фигуры.
Then we get down to the frame. To make it, you need to correctly calculate the proportions of the figure. You draw a figure on paper, you calculate everything, all proportions, and you start making the frame. It's made of wire, and if it's a big doll, its figure is created by using fitting with the help of welding and the polyester batting. This technique is called felting.
Называется валяние. Когда уже каркас готовый, начинаешь лепить руки.
When the frame is ready, you start modeling hands and legs.
Уже тоже опять же нужно подумать.
Here again, you need to think what kind of hands a doll will have, where they should be. Should they be just down or holding something?
Либо он что-то держит, либо он что-то
Now I want to make a Jack Sparrow doll to hold its beard.
Хочу сделать, что он держит свой бород.
Having formed the hands and aligning the joints, the doll maker uses the tool to draw nails. At the final stage, the fingertips and palms are shaded.
Самый интересный момент для меня – это сборка, когда я начинаю ставить.
The most interesting moment for me is the assembly when I begin to attach legs, arms, head, and now the body is ready.
Соберу.
If I like everything, I pick up fabrics. This is also a difficult process because you would never pick it up all at once. Sometimes you would need to go to the market several times. Even when you think that everything is perfect, everything is ready, you start to cut and you realize that it doesn't match or fit, and you don't like it.
Смотришь, а не подходит, не нравится, начинает капризничать.
Special attention is paid to the authenticity of the national costume or doll outfit. And these are unlimited opportunities for the creativity of the doll maker: embroidery, minting, knitting, and lace making. Shoes, boots, sandals, and a doll's costume should not be different from the real ones, so the doll maker must have great skills and knowledge to embody all this in a doll.
Эта одежда сшита для царицы, которая ростом 1,30 м. Вот.
These clothes are made for the queen, who is about 30 meters tall. Now I decided to decorate it with beads.
Шить бисером. Вот.
The doll was created for 9 months. It took me almost 4 months to complete the embroidery itself. I'm still working on a collar, crown, and dress. I always want to improve something.
Что-то хочется улучшить. Это вот воротник нашей царицы. Вот я вышивала.
This is the collar of our queen. I embroidered it for 2 months. There is also a crown. It took about a month to make it. Each bead is sewn. There's nothing glued. Everything is sewn. Pearls, Swarovski stones, and Japanese beads.
Вот бисер японский. А это опашка Gulnas.
This is the Granny Gulnas, 80 centimeters tall. Its camisole is sewn in the national style. I completely embroidered it myself. Also, I made her a headdress, kimishek. Interior dolls can be called a magnificent art object without hesitation. Each of them is exclusive. The author invests a part of her soul into the models, and they, unlike factory ones, become truly alive. From ancient times, the prayer beads were used by worshippers during prayers. In almost all religions, the prayer beads are the part of the prayer rite. With their help, the prayers were counted. Currently, they have turned more into an accessory with an attractive design and bright stones. If beads used to be made of grains, wood, now they can be made from agate, amber, and other valuable stones. Fakhriya Ibragimova specializes in the making of prayer beads. Usually this work was done by men. However, Fakhriya's products are already known not only in Azerbaijan, but also abroad.
8 yıldır artıq məşğul oluram.
I have been engaged in this craft for more than 8 years. I studied in a completely different area. After one order for the prayer beads, I had a great interest in this craft. People also have a request for prayer beads. Surprisingly, I received the first order from a woman. Usually in our society, prayer beads are used mainly by men. There must be an odd number of beads on the prayer beads, maybe 33 or 11. Traditionally, there are 33 beads on the prayer beads.
Tek olmalıdır say.
But now, many want them to be smaller in size. If there is more, they will be uncomfortable.
İnsanlar da alır, onlar üçün say fərq eləmir.
There are people who want to always carry them with them. Then we In today's high-tech world, people have a special need to create something with their own hands. That's why applied art training studios are in demand. We went to one of them. We work with ceramics here.
Это один из древнейших видов искусства, керамика.
Ceramics is one of the oldest types of art, which was born out of the need of people to create some dishes from which they could eat, drink, and store something.
Из которой можно будет есть, пить и что-то хранить.
Alexey Karamzin and Rima Fatahova are the founders of a studio for teaching, sculpting, and creating ceramic products. Both children and adults come to classes.
Любой человек может научиться этому виду искусства.
Anyone can learn this kind of art. But of course, there are some criteria because he can do it well or not well. Therefore, of course, the presence of artistic taste is welcomed.
Приветствуется наличие художественного вкуса.
We asked to demonstrate the process of making ceramics, and today, together with Rima, we will make a mug.
Это базовый предмет, на примере которого
This is a basic item. On its example, our student can learn several molding techniques and learn basic skills. I'll show you how to do that.
сейчас я вам покажу, каким образом это можно сделать. Основная техника, по которой делается кружка.
The main technique in making a mug is to use the mold. We already rolled it. We cut a rectangle of the right size from it and rolled it into such a cylinder.
Такой цилиндр. Сейчас нам нужно
Now we need to treat the edges with a metal brush so that they can be connected. The ceramic mug manufacturing process consists of 5 steps.
Первый этап – лепка.
The first stage is sculpting. The second is drying. The third is firing. The fourth stage is glazing if required. And the fifth is refiring. The following materials are required to create a product.
В первую очередь, для того, чтобы работать с керамикой, нужна, собственно, глина.
First of all, to work with ceramics, you need clay.
Разные, есть много разных.
There can be different types. There are many of them. There are fire clay, non-fire clays. Fired one consists of such grains of already fired ceramics, which give both strength and aesthetic features to the product.
И эстетический такой вот,
For dishes, as a rule, glaze is needed.
ну, например, для посуды,
Also tools and the oven.
нужны инструменты и печь.
приступим к приделыванию донышка.
Let's start creating the bottom.
Поставим,
Let's put it in.
обведем окружность нужного радиуса.
Draw a circle with a radius and in the same way with a brush, first work through the edges and connect the two parts.
И соединим две детали. И финальная деталь в сборе нашей.
And the final detail in the assembly of our mug is the handle. It can also be made in several ways. You can roll and cut it. You can roll cylinder-shaped detail and bend it.
То есть здесь уже все зависит от фантазии.
Everything depends on your imagination. I'll make a handle like this. I will cut it a little bit and attach it in the same way to our mug.
Образом к нашей кружке.
Rima Fatahova is an architect and designer by education. But having tried herself once in ceramics, she chose this type of art as her main activity.
Знаете, работа с глиной – это своего рода медитация, потому что сам по себе материал…
Working with clay is a kind of meditation because the material itself makes you feel relaxed. You immerse in your thoughts.
Многие говорят, глина не…
Many say that clay does not like hustle, and that's true.
Очень редко
It's quite rarely when you can get a good result if you do it quickly. A great commitment to it and full involvement in the process are needed.
такое вот погружение в процесс.
Alexei Karamzin's first acquaintance with ceramics took place when he was a student at the Moscow University of Culture and Arts. Among the many fields of applied art, ceramics with its primitive performance caught his attention. As we know, the technique of ceramic works remains unchanged to this day.
Я нахожу этот вид искусства вообще очень экологичным, потому что
Actually, I find this kind of art very environmentally friendly, because instead of using, for example, different plastic cups that we constantly throw away, we make our cups that remain forever. They are not thrown out. So there is no overuse of resources. We don't throw them away. We use them all the time. That's what attracts me to ceramics.
вот, Этим также привлекает керамика.
So we are at the final stage of making the mug.
И финальным этапом мы нанесем.
And the final stage, we apply a drawing on a mug.
Поэтому сейчас
My favorite theme is mountains, so now, with such a stick, I scratch the mountain landscape on my mug.
Сейчас мы ее отставим, чтобы
Now we will leave it to dry, fire, and after the first firing, paint the mug with glaze, and fire it again.
еще раз обожжем.
And the product will be ready for use. You have to agree that it's not so difficult.